Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Always Connected, where the topic today is it real or generated? Or it could also be, is it real and can you trust it? We're going to talk about trust today. The main topic is discernment, which has become such a critical tool these days. And who would have thought it years ago? I'm thinking of the news. And when I grew up, I really dating myself. I remember Walter Cronkite, but I was a really little kid then. And that he reported the news, and whatever he said, you believed it. And now I don't care what news source you listen to. I don't initially trust it. How do we discern what's truth? Well, this body is your greatest tool of discernment, but it is still the messenger for the soul. Intuition is the voice of the soul. It speaks through the body in the way you feel, but also physical symptoms that you get. So we're going to dive into that today, and I'm going to tell you a couple stories and what brought this topic to mind right when I was wondering, what are we going to talk about in the next couple podcasts? So before I forget, the podcast next week, where did I write it down? Wrote it down somewhere. I already can't remember. So we'll get to that later. Anyway, this came up when I was reading the news on my phone, and there was an ad about a cure for Alzheimer's. I'm very interested in that because so many of the people that I bring through from across the veil passed of Alzheimer's. And by the way, they tell me that they're perfectly clear now. And of course they are, because without the wiring of the body that's not working the way it's supposed to, they're pure souls and perfectly clear. But I also have several friends here still in physical bodies who are dealing with Alzheimer's. And so I was very interested in that. And so I clicked on it, and it started playing this video. And the video really drew me in. It started talking about Clint Eastwood and how he had allegedly, according to this video, signs of Alzheimer's, and how he found this cure that's readily available. And over time, all of his symptoms disappeared. And right away I thought, I never heard of this, but I don't watch a lot of TV. I just read the headlines in the news. I'm usually working on work instead of caught up in TV. And so I kept watching, and then here comes Bill Gates, and he's sitting at a desk and he's talking about this cure for Alzheimer's. He talked about how he had put millions of dollars into research himself because of a personal interest in it, and how this was proven to be real. And it's Bill Gates talking to you. There was no indication that that wasn't the real Bill Gates. None whatsoever. So at that point, I wasn't even flagged. Then this doctor that allegedly had found the cure came on, and he was looking very legitimate, talking right to the screen. And Bill Gates referred to him, and he referred to Bill Gates. And something in me, something about the cadence of this doctor's voice and the fact that he didn't move from the desk. He wasn't moving around. He was just talking, just kind of sent up a little suspicion in me. But what they were saying was so exciting. And this is a key, right? You get sucked into the drama. So I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, well, why don't more people know about this if this is a cure? And they talked about, Bill Gates comes back on the camera, and he talks about the fact that they had shared this with big pharma, who weren't interested because it would lose them billions of dollars. Well, that's plausible. So the whole time I'm listening, I'm using discernment. And then suddenly they switched back to the doctor, and a real red flag went off. Throughout the video, there were, subtitles across the bottom. So I'm able to read what the doctor's saying at the exact same time he's reading it. And I read it before he said it. It talked about somebody needing to call 911. Now, I know some of you watching live right now, I notice you're in Costa Rica, some of you are in Canada and other countries around the world. I don't know if it's universal, but here in the US, if you have an emergency, you just dial 911 and you're straight to a dispatcher who will hopefully be able to help you. Well, this doctor said, well, in an emergency, you can call 911. And all of a sudden I thought, wait a minute. No American would say that. If it were a mistake, it would have been edited out. And I've often thought about, I used to watch a show for a few series until it got too violent years ago about a Russian who was raised in America, planted as a spy. It was a TV series. And I often thought, what about Russian spies or any spies or American spies in Europe, anywhere, who try to fit in and just make the slightest little cultural slip that could do them in? And for me, this guy saying 911 instead of 911, suddenly I thought, is this whole thing AI? And then it switched back to Bill Gates, and he's talking about, he finally got to the point of, here's the cure. It's this, take 2 little pills a day of this product called something like, honey. Like cognitive honey. And I'm thinking, really? And now you could really feel the sales pitch coming. But I might have still wanted to dig deeper into this had it not been for the final little slip that sealed the deal, when the alleged, who was really a fake, Bill Gates, called it, he called it Cognihoney throughout. And at one point he said Cognihoney. And that was it. I thought, this whole thing is computer generated. And it was, because later I went online and I Googled scam and Cognihoney, and I learned a term. It's called deepfake. That was a whole new term to me. Never even knew it. But this just showed to me what our world is not just coming to, but where it is now. So we're at a point where AI can fake us. And it gives you pause, because maybe someday we'll have me allegedly giving a reading and it's not me. It could be AI. Right now, everything you see is me, but that could be anybody. It could be world leaders. It could be anybody who we trust. So the point is, how do we keep from being sucked into the drama? How do we keep from being fooled? And it's because we're given this, I'll call it a God-given gift of discernment. And that comes from the soul. And there are certain ways that the soul gets through, and one is the body. There was something within that whole video that just started to turn within me, because there's a lack of coherence when something isn't true. Coherence is where everything is flowing as a united whole. Truth, absolute essential truth, is the expression of wholeness, connection with the oneness. Something that has a greater purpose and benefits the whole is coherent. And the body and the soul recognize that at the deepest level. So without even needing to get the mind involved and analyze, the left brain involved, there's a part of you that already knows truth. So certainly we're all becoming aware of the need to use discernment with what we see in videos, what we read in the news. So it really behooves us to turn that up. In just a minute, I'm going to talk about using this for mediumship, which is very critical for those of you who are doing readings for others. But I realized also for the person receiving a reading from a medium, both require discernment. But I actually put up a video after I publicized that we were going to do this topic called Don't Be Fooled. A lot of people have seen it, so hopefully all of you have too, because just a couple days later, after setting up this podcast in advance, I was sent an email from a follower of this Awakened Way work. And she said, Suzanne, what do you think about this? Click the link. And I knew her, and I trusted that this was not spam. And I clicked the link, and it was a woman talking to AI, asking a question. And the question that came back from AI, you could hear it on the video. Parts of it rang as truth. They were deep spiritual truths that I know in my soul are correct about who we are and how connected we are. But other aspects of it, I just could not buy into. The the red flags were going up left and right. And so on this, I went to work out afterwards, and right in the middle of the workout, my guide said, you go do your own experiment with AI. So I did, and that became that video. And so it's just a big topic these days. But I've been aware of the need for discernment since I first started connecting personally with those across the veil. And I would say it's the number one question from any student of mediumship that I've gotten. And it's, how do I know this is not my imagination? Well, that's an interesting topic all by itself. And there are various ways. I've talked about them in other videos, but let me briefly summarize them here. And by the way, while I'm talking, in these live podcasts, you are welcome to come on screen with me and ask a question about this topic. We already have 4 people waiting in the waiting room, and I look forward to hearing your questions. But I'll answer your questions with the help of my guides, Sanaya, and you'll get a chance to discern, does that feel right to you? Right there as you listen. Anytime you listen to anything that I share, I hope you'll use discernment and find out if it's your truth as well as a universal truth. Hopefully both will be true for you. And then at the end, we'll have a wild card moment where I'll ask Spirit how we're going to wrap up this podcast. And I never know what that's going to be, which is why it's a wild card. So getting back to our topic, let me pull the topic up here. Where do I have it? There. It's just, is it real? How do you trust in a reading if you're the medium or the sitter? Well, if you're the medium, it's different. As the medium, it's absolutely true that many of the things that come through sound like our own thoughts. But it's the practice of connecting with spirits over and over and over, doing this many times, that you come to feel the presence of those in spirit. I can absolutely tell when there's a spirit in awareness and when I'm not connected. There's no flow when I'm not connected. It's just this feeling that I've come to know. And so the second part is what is being shared? Is what's coming up in awareness new, novel, something you didn't expect? That would come from someone outside of your own field. And most importantly, is it helpful? Is it healing? Now, certainly anybody can make up messages that are helpful and healing, but are they relevant? Are they something you wouldn't have thought of? This is the way you'll know. Now, many times when a spirit comes through and makes sure they want their loved one to know how much they love them and that they're okay, that's something that any medium would want to share, but I never share those things unless I actually feel it from a spirit. Why? Because here's the discernment needed by the sitter, the recipient. What if your loved one across the veil, maybe a parent who was hurting their whole life, never showed their love? That's very possible, and I've seen it a lot in my readings. What if your parent was not at all loving and you're sitting with a medium who says, oh, your mother's here and she loves you so much, she's showering you with love? As a sitter, if that were my parent, my discernment meter would say, wrong, right? That's not my mother. And I, as a medium, can feel when that's the case. That's why it's so important to use discernment as a medium, so that you represent this spirit. Now, certainly I'll go off topic a little bit and tell you that those souls who were not loving here, who never said they loved their family member, when they get to the other side and the body is no longer blocking awareness of who we are, when this filter of a body is no longer functioning and we are aware, I am the light, I am a soul, you are aware of love. The life review shows us missed opportunities for being loving. So when I bring through a soul from the other side, they have never, not once in my readings, come through and not shown love. But it's important to discern what they were like here, because often if they never said, I love you, they won't say it during a reading, but they'll show, my eyes have been open. I miss my opportunities. I want them to know that I did love them, but I was not able to show it. That's evidential. That requires discernment. So if you're not a medium and you're learning to tune into your own loved ones who have passed, or you already are, you know when they're here. The left brain may jump in and say, oh, I'm making this up, but the soul knows. And it's learning to discern the difference between, oh, I wish I were feeling my loved one. Maybe that butterfly that just flew by was my loved one, versus, there's that feeling of presence. That butterfly did something really unusual. My discernment says, this is them. I'm going to honor that. Oh, I just picked up the group goosebumps from everybody, because we've all had those moments. Whether or not you honor them depends on your discernment and your trust. The two go hand in hand. So discernment is critical. Yesterday, I don't have permission to share the details yet. I asked, but I haven't heard back from my sitter yesterday. But I had one of those moments where the spirit said something so clearly and so bizarre that I knew it was coming from her. And I just tuned in, and this is what discernment asks us to do. I moved my awareness out of the head where we analyze. This is teaching for all of you. And I dropped it down into the gut, the hara, right here at the belly. And I felt, and I asked this loved one in spirit again, is that really what you just said? And it was a knowing, yes, say it word for word, even though it was a very, very casual comment made for the client. And I said it, and this client, who had been very low key from grief throughout the reading, suddenly just smiled, and the two other family members that were there started smiling and clapping. They could not believe what they had just heard. That was the moment when any lack of awareness that this was their loved one just completely dissolved. And they later told me why that phrase was so important. If I had not used my discernment, if I had let my analytical mind get in the way and say, nah, there's no way that spirit just said that, because it's such a human thing, we would have missed what I call a gold nugget, this moment of absolute magical, wondrous connection that I know will change the whole trajectory of that family's healing and their grief journey. So discernment, if you're a baby medium or a mediumship student, even if you're a full-fledged professional medium, we need to really hone that gift. Now, I'm going to continue on, because this one came to me in the middle of the night as I was thinking about the podcast, the importance of discernment as a sitter. There's a difference between skepticism and open skepticism with discernment. Closed-minded said, this is all BS. So why are you having a reading at all? To prove what you believe is false? Discernment and open-minded skepticism go hand in hand. So with an open mind, that I'm going to use my body and my soul's awareness, not the analytical mind, I'm going to be open to this experience and just see how everything that's coming through feels. I remember very well a reading that I had years and years and years ago with a medium, and so much of what she said she was bringing through my father, did not match my dad. And I sat there and I thought, this isn't dad. This isn't dad. And yet I could tell the medium felt she was connecting with him. I could tell she wasn't a fake. This was just discernment. And so I remained open until this wondrous moment when she suddenly said, and your father just said, I heard the whistle blow and I knew it was time to go. That was the gold nugget for me, because my dad was a railroad engineer. He taught me how to blow a train whistle with my hands. It was all about the whistle with dad. And it made complete sense as to how he passed. And so many things leading up to that point were incorrect. And yet that one piece showed me that dad is here, but she's just not connecting with him clearly. And I only needed to know that he was there. I would have loved to have heard from him much more clearly. But my point is, use discernment with every reading and don't throw out the whole reading because some things aren't right, or even many things aren't right. A reputable medium will aim for the highest possible accuracy in evidence and get that consistently. But I don't know any medium who is always 100% correct because of the way the information is transferred. It's a very challenging way to communicate. But we learn, and through practice, the medium will be discerning, and hopefully you will be discerning. I'm going to keep going a little bit longer because there was one moment that really showed me the need for discernment. It was when a woman took one of my classes and she came up to me and she said, Suzanne, I've been trying to connect with my daughter myself, but I'm just so afraid that she's suffering. I tried to reassure her without feeling her daughter in the moment, but she told me that she had had a reading with a medium. And the medium brought through a couple things and then asked the client, this student of mine, how her daughter had passed. And the woman told her that her daughter had passed in a way that she took responsibility for her passing. The moment that she shared that, this woman told me, the medium got down on the floor, curled up in a ball in fetal position and said, well, your daughter is here and this is the way she's coming through to me. She's showing me that she's suffering because of the way she passed. Well, I hope you all will discern right here and right now that that was the medium's stuff, whether she was faking that or whether that triggered something in her that caused her to believe that's what she was perceiving. I don't know. In any case, she broke my rule number 1, which is do no harm. I knew in my soul that this is not what happens to souls across the veil. So I did what I call a damage control reading. That's a Navy term. Damage control is when the water's coming in the ship and you've got to shore it up. So I said, let's do a reading. I would like to connect with your daughter and we'll see how she's doing. I asked the woman, did that medium give you any evidence that that was your daughter? She thought for a moment. She said, no. I said, yeah, but somehow you're letting what she did continue to affect you and hurt you and cause you pain to this moment. She said, yes. I said, all right, we're going to connect and you discern in yourself from what comes through whether this is your daughter. And I knew Spirit would not let us down. The Great Spirit and the spirit of her daughter. We had an excellent connection. Her daughter showed me exactly how she passed. She showed me details. She let me feel her personality. I captured her essence to the point where her mother couldn't deny this is her. We got other evidence that included past memories and other things. I'm sure not everything was 100%, but we captured that essence. And I looked at Mom and I said, is this your daughter? Can you tell? She said, yes. And I said, and she is absolutely fine. And we got messages from the daughter that hopefully helped wipe away the harm that that reading did. So I'd like to just come back to the topic again and remind you all, whether you're the medium or the recipient of the medium, whether you're watching the news, the soul knows truth. So widen the lens of awareness. When we get into a state of fear and doubt and distrust, that lens of awareness restricts and contracts. You control that lens. The soul is trying to get through to you, but not when your human mind is paying too much attention to the human brain. Pay attention to the soul by acknowledging the brain and the need for using analysis, but drift awareness down to the heart and the hara, the gut, and ask, how does this feel? Not quite right. So I'm not going to outright dismiss it, but I'm going to set it aside. All right. And my guides just gave me the, okay, that's enough discussion. Let's move on to the next session where we chat with Spirit by bringing in some of you who are waiting in the waiting room there. And I see some of you. Yeah, let me try one other thing here. Okay. And I'm going to bring you on one at a time and let you ask a question. Now, if you can keep these kind of brief and stay on topic, that would be great. Just now, let's see. I talked to Susan before we came on, and Susan, I still can't see you. So I'm going to add you to the stage, no camera, and then just go back to me like I said we would do. But you are on the show, so welcome. Uh-oh, Susan, now you might even be muted. If you can unmute your
Hi,
mic.
Suzanne.
There we go. Okay. Welcome.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll try to be quick here. I have wondered often about the pineal gland being part of the process of trying to connect. And so I've heard some about the pineal gland can sometimes get calcified, which can hinder.
I am so glad you brought this up. So just go ahead and frame your question. I know what it is, but let's hear it so everybody else knows.
Well, it's just, is there a hint? Could there be a hindrance if someone's pineal gland is calcified?
Okay. I've always pronounced it pineal gland. You
Sure.
all might have heard it otherwise, but this is in the center of the brain, and some people have said it is related to the sixth energy center in the body, the sixth chakra, or the third eye, as it's known. And this pineal gland, if it is connected, then that would help us have greater insight and greater sight on the screen of the mind. And so when I heard also this statement that the pineal gland can get calcified, meaning a buildup of hardness so that it's not able to help us discern and see spirit, then that would not be a good thing. And we want to uncalcify it. So what really got my attention was when I saw a notice at one point that said there's a certain toothpaste you can use to help decalcify the pineal gland. I find it hard to even say that without laughing, but I'm trying to remain neutral. So that doesn't make me throw out the whole concept of does the pineal gland get calcified? But I have asked in meditation, oh my guides, they just grabbed me and they said, well, ask us now. I forgot, sorry. All right, so let's ask my guide Sanaya about the pineal gland and calcification. And they say, if by calcification you mean a lack of flexibility through misuse of an element of your true nature that allows you greater insight, yes, this can happen, but it is not a physical hardening as you would understand it. Mm-hmm. And so any practices you can do to open the flow of consciousness and awareness through the third eye center, which is a very real nexus of awareness, will enjoin the pineal gland's abilities with the third eye, bringing them into coherence, and you will reap the benefits of greater insight. But it is not a physical calcification, and therefore any physical products you were to use would have no effect. Your intention to have the greatest awareness through this center will be of great assistance, as will be the regular habit of sitting in expanded states of consciousness. Wow. How's that sit with you? Discern for me, Susan.
Oh, okay, that is a lot, and I'm so grateful to hear this, and I will definitely go back and re-listen. Okay. And I've heard one more thing that I need to add to that is I got an aha the other week when I listened to you just saying the word consistency is really key. So thank you so much. Thank you for letting me come on right now, and just thank you for all that you do. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Susan. Great question. And in the past, I might have been hesitant to answer that question because there is so much on the internet about that very topic. And what just came through my guides contradicts a lot of it. So this is the perfect question, because now all of you get to discern what is true for you. And this leads me, I'll get to more guests in a minute here, but it leads me to another thing about the topic of, is it real? There is what we have called shared consciousness. We all agree the sun rises and sets, and yet we all know it doesn't really, does it? it appears to, but it's an effect of the movement of the sun and the earth in relation to each other. So there are certain things that, because they are shared human experiences, we say that's real. But somebody else may not have your dream visit from a loved one, but you know that was your loved one because it was so much more solid, so much more real than your normal dreams appear. Was it real? Absolutely. So there is a distinction. It can be real at a human level, but not considered real as a shared thing. And yet that's that, and it's still real. So use that with discernment as well. All right, let's move on. We're going to bring on, let me get the glasses because it's a little dim here. Yeah, Lexi. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Howdy. You look like you're set for a podcast. I don't do the whole headphones thing.
I do gamer stuff, so
Okay, you're all set.
So, my question is, one, I have aphantasia, so it's hard for me. I can't visualize. I don't see any images in my head at all. So I have to go through sensations and things like that to try to figure out what's there. But I start doubting myself. And so I'm never sure. It's like when I'm sensing something, I don't know if I'm wanting something so much that I'm making it up, or if it's just happen to be a physical sensation that just happens, or if it's actually spirit, or like when I'm trying to choose what to do, I'm not sure. It's like, do I want it so much that I want that to happen? I don't know how to practice discernment and trust myself that I'm picking the right direction.
This is easy. Everybody can do this practice. Were we going to do this later, guys? They're not telling me yet. But I like everybody listening now to take a nice, slow, relaxing breath. Take it in. Exhale like a big sigh. Let it all out. Exhale long. Now, right now, nobody should be feeling threatened. We're surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of lovely people watching this live. How do you feel right now, Lexi, in your chest and your stomach?
Calm.
Yeah. And do you feel open or tight?
Maybe somewhere in the middle.
In the middle. Okay. So that may be a baseline that you'll want to set the intention of being able to train yourself to go to total openness. This is a really key skill for discernment. So let's do one more breath. Oh, the guides just said it's because you know that there are about 1,000 people watching you right now. So don't worry about it. It's just you and me, and everybody else. Take another nice deep breath in and release, relaxing as fully as possible. Relax, release, open, open, open. Did that get you a little more open?
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Now, tuning in only to the stomach and the heart. Get out of your head. Feel the answer to this question. No, feel the answer to this statement. Tomorrow is Christmas. What just happened?
Little twingy.
Yeah, a little twinge. Okay. Now take another deep breath. Exhale, relax, relax. Everybody do this with me. We're doing this live. So I'm going to say to you, how does this feel? Tomorrow is Monday. What'd you feel?
I didn't feel the twinge.
There you go. You probably didn't feel any difference at all because you're already open. See? But you didn't feel the twinge. So you can play this practice with other people and practice having them give you questions you don't know the answer to. It'll be much more accurate than doing it by yourself. But you can sit by yourself right now and think the question. No, say the statement, my name is John Smith. And there's my lip twitch. It's not accurate. I get it. That twinge, you call it a twinge, I get a clench. It's so strong because I've trained myself in this. But now you've just discerned that twinge. Now the key is when you really, really want something, this applies to everybody, feel that wanting right now. Feel it. You want it really badly. How does that feel versus that open state after the deep breath? Where do you feel any change?
Some here.
Okay. So a little bit of what? See if you can put words to it.
Wanting it and kind of afraid of actually getting it.
Okay, those are thoughts. What is the actual sensation when you put your hand there? She's putting it, for those of you listening only on podcasts, she has her hand on her chest, but you put your hand there because it wasn't a thought, it was a feeling, that wanting, gotta have it. What does that feel like to you?
It's like a goldfish.
And this just shows me that to everybody, it's going to be a little different. So everybody do this exercise and identify. To me, again, I say clenching, but now I know that that doesn't have the same meaning to you. Now you'll feel that goldfish feeling. And the goal is to release the goldfish feeling through those slow, deep breaths. You may need to do 3 or 4 for a couple minutes. Do the deep breathing till you feel completely open, releasing the need, going to what we call base state. What you're doing is releasing what I call the overlays on your true nature, which is complete wholeness and openness. And now you say, can I trust what I got from spirit? Can I trust what I'm hearing? And you give it that feeling without the goldfish feeling, and you give it that openness. And now you discern, is there a tightening? Is there pressure? That is going to be your no. But if you remain in that open, calm, relaxed state, that's a yes. Is this completely infallible? No, because you're still in a body. But over time, when you practice this, and really everybody play with friends and do this until you really recognize that. Some of you who don't have what Lexi said was aphantasia can visualize a traffic light. In spirit, you'll actually, from your soul, see a green light or a red light. It's a yes for a green and a no for the red light. So there are various ways you can get a yes or no, but these become very reliable discernment tools. So I want to ask you a question off topic here, but I'm curious because I know one other person with aphantasia. But if I tell you pink elephant, what just happened?
I start coming up with words to describe it, to write it down.
But you saw no image whatsoever of an elephant?
No.
Wow, isn't that interesting? Because my human mind says, well, surely she'll see an elephant and maybe it'll be pink, but there's nothing on the screen of your mind, right?
Nope.
So that's your
I think in text.
You think
literally.
In text. Okay. But that
I'm a writer, so it's like I just put everything down, and people have told me that it's very descriptive. They could almost imagine being there. And I'm like, great, I can't see it.
Well, see, this is your normal, and you learn workarounds, and your soul is in full, vivid, technicolor knowing of everything. Vision is not everything. It's the knowing, and that's what I teach everybody. Go for the knowing. So hopefully those discernment tools will help you and other people as well. All right? Excellent question. A great discussion. Thank you for coming on. All right, everybody. The topic is it real using discernment? We have here in the waiting room, I think I have 4 more people. We'll just keep going for a while. Adriana, I can't see a camera, but I'm going to bring you on. There you are. Howdy. You are on the show. Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
Excellent. You have a question about our topic today?
Yes, I have a question. So I've gotten pretty good, a little bit maybe, at discerning my guidance. Usually it would just come in very calm, kind of abrupt out of nowhere. I wouldn't get a feeling attached to it. It wouldn't scare me. And I would know, like, okay, this is not coming from me. It's not my own thought.
Okay.
But this last year, now I've been struggling with a couple of things that I need to make decisions on. And I started hearing like a voice that kind of reminds me a lot of someone who's not with me anymore, one of my loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very playful, sometimes kind of teasing. And every time I'm struggling with these certain decisions, it'll come in And I'm like, is that really my loved one trying to help me? And she's showing like her personality, like how she was when she was here, or am I like making this up because that's not how I'm used to my guidance coming through? So I've
Sure.
been having a difficult time with the discernment this year.
Okay. And the question is, do I trust this, and how do I trust this? Am I correct? Yes.
Yes.
As you were talking, I tuned into my guides. They gave me one of my discernment tools. Not only is the feeling, is my yes is a thumbs up, my no is crossed arms. That's just what it's always been for me. They gave me a big thumbs up. Trust that it's her. But more than that, can you say to yourself, what if this is her, instead of immediately going to doubt?
Mhm.
Right? Because I can tell there's a part of you that knows it's her, but that brain's getting in the way and saying, oh, I don't want to look foolish. I don't want to get bad information. Well, you're already discerning enough to not act on something that's going to cause you harm or cause you to do something silly, right?
Mhm.
So what if it really is her? How will that change things for you?
It would make me pay attention more. I
Mm.
guess it was distracting because her personality was very like playful and teasing, and the tone is high pitched. So when it first came through, it kind of scared me. And I always believed like guidance wouldn't really like scare me or cause me to have anxiety. And
Yeah.
I was thinking about something, and she talked to me, and it like scared me because I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, is this really you telling me? And so it's been happening, for the last 7, 8 months, and I'm just like, I'm kind of struggling with the being
Yeah.
objective and and really discerning, but it does
Well,
feel like it's her.
continue to use discernment with every bit of it, because this is the thing, even in the middle of a reading that I do, the human mind can insert itself. So absolutely every moment of the way, say, am I holding this connection accurately, or have I slipped back? So discernment is not just a one-time thing. So every time you feel that presence, engage her, have a conversation, feel into how's she coming across. And you reminded me of my wonderful friend Brenda. And I know Lynette's
Mhm.
tuning in. Hi, Lynette. When Brenda came through, she was her sassy self. She was so
Mhm.
funny. And that's how I knew it was her. She even said, I channeled her like 2 days after she passed to 40 of her closest friends. And everybody's jaws were dropped because, like, that's Brenda. And she said, what'd you expect me to be? This wise oracle? Oh, do we expect everybody across the veil to suddenly be holy and serious? No, your loved one comes through in a way that you would know her, right? So I can understand that would be different than past guidance, but it was time for you to hear from, oh, I got the goosebumps, to hear from her in a way that you could really connect heart to heart. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
Super. Thank you
Mhm.
for coming on. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. I see in the waiting room, Samantha, give me a thumbs up if you want to come on camera. Yes, indeed. Welcome to the show. Okay. Can you unmute yourself? I hope.
Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes, indeed. How
All
you doing?
right. So I love you, Suzanne. Anyways, my question is, I've had some, well, I'll call them visitors of lots of health challenges, really been going through a lot over the last 12 years or so. And the only thing that has helped me is, as far as physically, is getting on an animal-based diet. And I hear so many things and gurus and blah, blah, you need to eat plants, but I get sick when I eat plants. And I don't know, is this lowering my vibration? Is it, is my health issues in general stopping me from this connection I've been seeking forever with my guides?
And this is such a great question, because I could answer about this topic in particular, but I can just feel, and I hope everybody else discerns this as well. You already know your truth. Your body's telling you it doesn't do well on this diet, but it does well on that diet. And I have asked Sanaya about diets quite a few times, and the answer is always the same. There is no one right answer, because you're all unique expressions of the one divine being. And so your body was created in a way that will react uniquely to food, and only you know your body from the inside out, other than spirit, which is you in its higher form. So what is your body telling you?
that I do better on animal-based foods.
Okay. And so if you can, then if there's any other belief system that comes up that gives you a problem with eating that way, then just ask Spirit, what is the belief here that's causing me to feel that this is wrong? Because my
Yeah.
body's telling me otherwise. Okay. So is it your soul telling you this, or are you listening to what other people are saying? You already know.
Hearing what so many other teachers are saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then are my
And this
health
beautiful
challenges?
cat, if people can't see it, this beautiful cat just came on and is loving on her on screen. Yeah.
Are my health issues causing me this block that I've been dealing with? This feels like I know my loved ones are with me, and I know I am such a deeply spiritual person,
Mhm.
but I haven't been able to make that connection.
Okay. I just heard there is a component of that, but do not allow that to block your efforts to connect, because every effort that you make to simply open will not only heal your connection, but heal your body as well.
Thank
Okay?
you.
All righty. Beautiful soul. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. This is such a joy to share with all of you. And I love the live chat that's going on. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can minimize the screen and see and join the chat on the side. There's usually about 1,000 people every Sunday who join in. It's our community gathering, right? It's just a beautiful way to share love. Such a loving, open group, which is why we come back again and again. So let's see. Let's see. Mardine, do you want to come on the show? Yeah, okay. Welcome to the program. Our topic is it real? How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me
I
okay?
can. What's your question? And we'll ask Sanaya.
Well, I want to approach it from the other side of discernment, which is related to what you were talking about last week, how whether we share our experiences with people is a matter of discernment as well,
Yes.
to feel that that they're open to hearing it and that it's not going to, cause distance between you, that sort of thing. And I have known pretty much all my life that that all of this is real. And I've had many connections with others, either alive or past. And I have made a lot of choices in my life not to pursue that, not to spend more time, becoming more open and, putting effort into it, basically.
I understand.
Because
Yeah.
I have a life, I have a business, I have a husband that I love, and
you can have all of that. Yeah. So what is the question?
well, am I going to regret that I didn't do that, that I didn't, follow that? Because I feel it's really the purpose of my life, to
Yeah.
share what
Okay.
I know and what you know, just
All
like
right.
you.
So I'm gonna help you help yourself right here, Mardine, and everybody else. Let's do this again. Let's take that. Well, I don't want you to take a deep breath, because as you ask that question, tell me how you feel in your gut and your heart. Am I going to regret this? How does it feel right now?
Yes, I think I will regret that I
See,
didn't
you went
pursue
right
it
to the answer that I'm
more.
already feeling. You went right to the answer, but let's go. And that is correct, because it's already here. You're already regretting it. So, but let's not answer the
Yeah.
question. Answer the previous question. How does it feel right now that you're not sharing this? What are you experiencing in your body?
Tightness in my chest, um, emotion, feeling, wanting to cry.
There we go.
Um,
And that wanting to cry can also be a positive. It's not a negative. But in this case, that's something that wants to express, that needs to come out. This is your soul saying, there's a part of you that can shine even brighter. Please don't let other people dampen that. But you can still do that in, discerning with each person how much. But you already have that regret, and it doesn't need to be there. Please don't feel bad about it. It's just like a God thing that you're here now. But I want everybody to notice how often we go to words instead of actually acknowledging what's happening, because we don't want to feel it, or we're not used to being the embodied soul, as we say. Okay? So feel into it. What the guides are saying is nurture yourself more. They just reminded me, I have these two gorgeous little stuffed animals over here that when I hold them, I just feel so good. And give yourself permission to be yourself. Okay? The self being the higher capital S. That soul that knows, oh my God, we're all connected and I know it, and I'm sorry you don't, but I'm going to let it out. Okay? Yeah, I still feel the little clenching, so just practice deep breathing. Exhale. And tell that aspect of yourself inside that is afraid, it's okay. The guide said, wait for the wild card moment. All right? So don't go away. Stay around to the end, and we'll have a practice that helps. Thank you so much, Mardine. I hope that was helpful to you. That was excellent. Let's see. We have time to bring on a few more people still waiting. Yeah. Russell, I can't see you, but we'll add you to the stage. There you are. Hi.
All right.
You have a question for the guides today?
Yeah, maybe it's kind of similar. I feel like there's a course coming up that I really wanted to do. I didn't think it was going to be possible, but it's like I still feel like I still really need to do it. It's really important, but at the same time, it's it's too late. I don't even see how I can afford to do it, but it just won't let me go. So I don't know. I get a bit.
All right.
I think it would have been possible.
Yeah. There are certain times, there are certain questions when somebody will ask it in a reading, and the guides actually say, we're not going to answer this because the answer will affect the direction of your life. This is one of those questions you need to discern for yourself. And that's not a cop-out on the guide's part. This is an opportunity to practice that discernment. So right now, you're still so conflicted. I would wait till the show is over, rewind, and listen to everything they said to Mardine. And just do that practice, then back up and see what they said to Lexi. Do that practice again till you can get to that absolute relaxed state, and ask again, and watch the analytical mind that wants to make a pros and cons list. And then when you get a yes, ask Spirit, why is this a yes? Open it up more. When you get a no, ask without going back up into the analytical mind, why is this a no? And now feel in, because everything is not cut and dry. There will be some detractors, but what feels right? But do it from that calm, open place, even if it have to go back several times to doing those deep breaths. All right?
Okay.
All right. Thanks for coming on. I'm reminded so much, everybody, of my husband, Ty, who he won't mind me saying this. He just sometimes is not aware of what he's feeling either. And I'll say, well, what are your symptoms? Well, I don't know. And my part of me that is so attuned to what's going on all the time through awareness, because it's the training to be a medium, just wants to say, what do you mean you don't know what you're feeling? So then you have to ask my question, well, let's go to the heart. What do you feel here? Are you feeling warm or are you feeling cold? And we just walk it through, because some people have so learned to shut off that aspect of discernment. Yet I hope you can see through this show how important, how helpful it can be, but how important to be relaxed first. And then if you have to go body part by body part and discern what's actually going on here. And then what does that mean to me? If somebody had said, I'm just with total love in my heart, I'm feeling a goldfish, that would have zero meaning to me. And yet to her, now she knows what that means because she assigns her own meaning to it. So whatever you're finding, whatever you're feeling, what does that mean to you? Will this be a reliable, reputable tool of discernment, whether it's tuning into Love on the Spirit or listening to the news or watching an ad? That will help you. All right. Let's see. Do I have time to get to everybody? Not. Maybe we'll see. Leah or Lee, you're on the show. Hello.
Hello. Can you
Hi.
hear me, Suzanne?
Just barely. So please speak up and ask away.
Hello. Is it better now?
Not
Better?
really, but speak loudly and go ahead.
Okay. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank
Hold
so
it up
much.
like that.
Okay. My question is about one of the clairs is claircognizant, right? So to my understanding, it also comes in like thoughts from your mind is coming through the third eye. So at least for me, I feel that way. So is everything either is the guidance from my guides or my own thoughts is all coming in the form of thoughts. And I don't know if it's clear cognizance, is it possible to have body sensation to help me discern?
Okay.
Like, yeah.
This is a great way to wrap up this whole discussion. I would not be so concerned with putting into categories the way the information is coming through. It's a great teaching tool. Those thoughts that you're sensing, that is clairaudience because you hear them as words. When you see things, that's clairvoyance. Claircognizance is really an amalgamation of all the other ways we sense with our non-physical senses. Claircognizance is pure knowing. And no thoughts are necessary. No images, no words at all. You just know. So do you exist at all right here and right now, Leah? Do you exist?
Yes,
Yes. How do you know?
just know.
You just know. No, nothing had to put in your mind, well, I have a name and I have a body. No, you just know. That's like the most basic awareness that all of us share, the I am. So without trying to pigeonhole things, when you am I hearing this? Am I seeing this? When you tune in and you're getting guidance or you're connecting with a loved one way of discernment is, do I know this to be so? How does it feel? Does it have that? You notice, even when I talk about it, if you're just listening, you can't see me. I kind of settle in. It's an anchoring, like a knowing, I can trust this. Aim to get to that. I've gotten to it over years. But if you hear something, you can combine that with a discernment. Yes, and do I know this is true? That comes with practice. So just work on the knowing and noticing what's going on in the body. Okay?
So it also gives body sensation.
Absolutely, the bodily sensation. Go back and watch the whole episode again, because that's really what we've been focusing on a lot as a major tool of discernment. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm going to honor our last person that's been waiting the longest, bring you on, and then we'll get to our wild card moment, even if we're going a little bit over an hour now. Lisa Lotta. I think you've been on the show before because I remember that name.
Yes. Well, this is interesting. It's not actually a question. And I kept feeling more and more like I'm supposed to at least put myself in the back and see what happens. So I'll try to be very brief. This is an experience I had a while back. I was just kind of somehow ended up on this, what was supposedly Wayne Dyer on the stage walking around. And he was saying all Wayne Dyer kind of things. And I was just listening. And I kept getting more and more distressed and tense. And then I just started screaming, this is not Wayne Dyer. This is not Wayne Dyer. And I finally just screamed and logged off the computer, shut off the internet. And I was like, what's going on? And then I realized it was like someone had taken all these little clips of him. And the point was when Wayne would talk, it was like he'd talk, and all of a sudden he'd yell something. Talk, yell. And the whole thing, he was just yelling. And so I wanted to share this, like, when you were talking, I was like, this was huge. Like my mind didn't question, my whole physical being started,
Yes.
like, I literally was screaming at the computer. What's
Yeah.
going on? This is not way
Okay.
higher.
And what's
No.
cool is, I'm going to take you off the screen and just wrap this up for
Yep.
everybody. Thank you for sharing that. What's cool is that Lisa Lotta just validated a point that was made at the very beginning of this, that when you're dealing with something that's real, there is a coherence. And whoever knitted together those clips from Wayne Dyer lacked the coherence. The whole thing lacked coherence. Her energy field discerned that before her even analytical mind did it. We are all fields of energy, awareness, and consciousness. Use that awareness to tune in, and when that lack of coherence builds up and up and up, there does come a point where you call the BS flag, right? Your belief system knows that that is not truth. So I hope this has been helpful to all of you. We're going to have our wild card moment. The guides told me it's actually going to be quite brief. Yeah, they're going to channel again. I loved how they channeled a couple of those answers just directly without me being the medium, which is what a medium is, the one in the middle. I'll get myself out of the way. And Spirit says, we simply wish to take you through another exercise like you have already done. And so all of you, as we bring this to a conclusion, are already in a coherent state by virtue of the fact that all of you together, being so open and loving, have created quite a coherent field here together. We are adding to that by raising the vibration such that you are able to discern even more clearly the answer to a question we wish to pose to you now. But first, in order to create the most accurate answer for you, we ask you once again to breathe in slowly. You may wish to do this through the nose. And release all tension, opening to possibility as you exhale through the mouth like a sigh or a yawn. Ah, do you not feel more relaxed now? Do you not feel open? No matter what is going on in your life, you, the soul, have given yourself this gift of being here present for this experience now. And we wish you to become even more relaxed as you breathe in again through the nose. And exhale, dissolving. The body will not leave you. You will not die, but dissolve the tension and simply be here as the light of awareness that you are. And in this open state, scan this beautiful vessel that is housing you, the soul, now. You are not separate from it. It is part of you, and it is quite a valuable tool. Scan it now for any tension, perhaps in the neck or shoulders, perhaps in the torso, in the legs. Release all of it and enjoy the peace. Even though this is an exercise, it is quite a valuable practice to do throughout your day, and using the word open, returning to wholeness here, now. And so our exercise, having gotten to this point now, consists solely of tuning into this vessel now, your discernment tool, as we make a statement to you. Hear us well. You are so very loved, beloved. And now, using discernment, the deepest part of you felt that as truth with a capital T. But there will be some of you who felt a clenching. And now, beloved, you have an assignment to sit, yes, with consistency, regularly, doing this practice of the relaxing and tuning in within. And when you get to this relaxed state, asking of higher consciousness, asking of the soul, why cannot I believe this at the human level? For the soul already knows you are so very loved. And we thank you for being open to this most important of all messages. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. It's a wrap, right? That ends our talk on discernment. Please use it not just for listening to the news, not just for trying to discern, is it AI or is this real? Use it in your relationships to know if somebody's trying to deceive you or being truthful. Use it in what you hear from spirit, whether you're a medium or tuning into higher guidance yourself, whether you're receiving guidance from somebody else. Discernment is, again, a God-given gift. It is the soul. So use it and so-called, air quotes, decalcify that tool. Practice is the best way to do that. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me here this week. If you enjoyed the show and you haven't subscribed, please do so, because that pushes this out to more people who might just need to hear that in this world where we certainly are not so in tune to each other as we could be. Happily, this group knows we're all connected. Let's continue sharing that message with the world. See you back here next week. Bye-bye.